Good morning, fellow countrymen and traders. My name is Anne-Marie Band. Today is the 14th of August. This is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. I'm super excited to be back on a good schedule, as it were. I'm happy to be back in my space, but that's all I'm going to say for that. We had a shocking rise, shocking to me, because of its speed of motion and its unwillingness to pull back in any form or fashion during the day. And so this gave us a very rapid rise through the thin volume profile. So my thought is, boo, because I like things to chop around and build out the profile so we have something that is uniform and natural. This is not natural, it's algorithmic. We are in a buy the dip event. We are waiting on the CPI. Value area high, 54.25. If we dip in there, the first group are going to be buyers. How far they take it to the north, I got no clue. None whatsoever. Here is that line in the sand we want to watch. And that number is 54.27-ish in terms of saying, all right, value area high, blah, blah. And then we've got this big Fibonacci here that's 54.14, which was kind of a breakaway event. But notice, buy the dip. Very well engaged. All right. Now, today's also buy the dip. Yesterday was buy the dip. It didn't give us much of a shot, though. I got to tell you, right? We had one opportunity in the early part of the morning. And then as soon as the markets came, we had a tiny test into the VWAP at 54.03. And then boom, that's all she wrote. So if you came in late to the space, you might go, oh my gosh, when am I going to get a dip? Listen. As long as you know the bigger time frames are moving up, you can collapse to the tiny ones to tell you, am I holding my moving average? What am I doing? Look 2 to 3 candlesticks to the left, watch for the pullback or the test of old resistance that becomes new support, and then you get involved. Bob's your uncle. There it is. Okay, this morning, nobody moving for the CPI, but I have no idea whether this was shorts that said, I got to get out of here, longs that said, oh my gosh, we're going to have a Fed cut, and, whatever. I don't know. Next step to the upside would be 5,500. Another value area high event is 54.76. Let's look at the corresponding SPY. On this 2-hour formation, I brought it in so you could see the wiggles, right? It looks a little bit messy, right? If I were to say, let's collapse indicators. If I were to say, let me hide them, right? Just for a bit. Take a look at what we're looking at, right? I'm gonna delete this Fibonacci because I don't want it. Okay, here's what we're looking at. Savage move down. This looks to me like it could be a bat harmonic formation. But in any case, what we're doing is just running right back up to where we were. This is algorithmically what is happening when we have high-speed frequency trading, right? It just chases price until the exhaustion, and then there we have it. So this is what we're looking at. Very sharp upward motion, thin pockets here, and rushing off to the next area of relative resistance, right? 546, 547. Let's say the CPI comes in, it's super hot, or whatever markets want to do to see it go to the upside. Then, 546, 547. Let me clone this one. And if it's something that makes price action pull back, we're going to have old resistance / new support somewhere around this line. It's not a pretty line. I am going to say that, right? It's not pretty. So we could see somewhere around there, all right, for old resistance, new support. You can see we're trying to hold higher, but everybody's waiting on the number. Okay, so let's now go to the NQ. Here we are, same sort of thing. Big picture event is a recovery of this, right? And sideways here, the direction of trend is clearly upward, folks. Don't need a moving average to tell you that. Look, higher lows, higher highs. You want to know what to do? Look 3 candles to the left, and you can tell what's going on in the near term. Bullish action. Now, this moved up very fast, and notice Sometimes when we move up very fast, we end up getting into a grinding motion. Got the hiccup, sorry. So my suspicion is a little bit of grinding motion. However, if we break away, 19,354, next line in the sand. Okay, that's what we're looking at. Hang on, I got to get over these hiccups. All right, here we go. So wherever we move up, right, we're going to eventually stall. Now this big line, to me, I don't know what's going on here. I would probably need to look at this on a daily. Let me see what's going on here. Because I don't like drawing lines that don't corroborate with other price action that I can clearly see. So we've got topping formations, but it's where the candlestick closes that becomes the most important. And so let's say 286.75 is that round and about number. But obviously, we're trying to hold the close of the prior day, right? We can see that very easily. Go back here. We're looking at price action that says, all right, my dips are buy zones. Could it be all the way down here? Could it be all the way down here? Either 18,990 or 18,860. All right. That being said, let's take a look at the Qs. The Qs, resistance. Let's go to the daily. Just realized I wasn't doing that. 463. See, this is very heavy congestion. So let's use this high one, right? That matches this area right here to the left at around 465. That feels like the region that we need to watch for. Notice this is the wall we're climbing, right? Yeah, that would be the wall we're climbing. Some days I get up and I just miss Rob Smith. And this time I miss him because he would be talking about, inside and outside candlesticks and running through that range. And this is a wall of worry. So if we can get up to the 50% level of this range and we hold it, we're off to the top. I do not think we're going to do that, but I'm just going to let price tell me what to do. Right now, it is clearly buy the dip, okay? And I'm looking at these tighter time frames so we can say, all right, we'll see, it's buy the dip. I get you. I see what we're doing. We got a trend line event here, but let's look for heavy congestion to put us where we want to be. All right. Let's take a look at the YM. Let's go to the daily first. I do not know what's going on here. Clearly, that is not the price we're at. Very interesting that the forward month is pricing higher prices into the fall. That's very interesting to me. Okay, so the YM is, again, trying to hold over the top. This is moving the way that I think it's moving. It should be moving. It did pull back. It gave us a hold. And now where are we trying to do? This is that wall of worry that we can see. And this is support, but I'm also going to clone it. And we're going to look at, the heavy congestion right around here, 40,205. Okay? It is certainly by the dip. Certainly. If we do a measured move here, see, this is prime for measured move action. So let's just draw and then duplicate and see where it goes. So it's telling us 40,150, potentially the measured move up there. Let's keep an eye on it. I'm not going to take that off. We'll be in good shape. Pullbacks are buy zones. This is leaking a little bit. You can see it moving off old resistance, new support. But now we are very likely to see a test of the midline of this heavy congestion. My thought is very pretty buying area near 39,564. All right. Last thing we're going to look at is oil, because I feel like I've been doing this recording for an hour and a half. Let's go to the daily. Look at that. Well, at least something happened the way I thought it would. I said, hey, listen, I don't think we're getting above 80. Neither party wants it to get above 80. And sure as the day is long, look at that. No 80. All right. Now, the question is, where's it going to move and how does the stall look in general? All right. Are we going to have something choppy like this? I say probably, right? And so if that's the case, then let's take this line and move it over to the heavy congestion here. So 76.87 thereabouts. It's walking down this candlestick. If it can hold 50% of this candlestick retrace, it's going to head right back up to 80. And it might be that there are forces at bay that could potentially push price action to the north, right? And if that is the case, we end up looking at 81 to 83. Okay? That's it for this morning, folks. I don't know if you felt naked without all the indicators, but sometimes it's very good to go, wait a second. I understand I've got all this whatever sitting around here. What are we looking at? And that is very often a good thing to do. Learn to look at price first and then let your indicators follow along. Don't use indicators to position trades. Use price action to do that, okay? And that means, how are my candles behaving in the past? And you can see here, hey, old resistance, new support. Traders are going to try and buy this up. All right, there we go. CPI in 5 minutes. Hopefully, it's something that we can trade and we love. And I'll see you on the platforms, everybody.